Oh, hello. Welcome to the Curious Emporium. Have a look at what we have in store for you.
All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're talking about a legendary land from Greek mythology, a place of, well, impossible perfection and eternal sunlight. It was called Hyperborea. So think about this for a second. It's this wild paradox, right? The ancient Greeks, these are people who knew all about sun-scorched islands. And yet, they imagined this perfect paradise, a land of eternal spring, hidden in the one place you'd never expect, a place they associated with nothing but bitter cold and darkness, the far north. Its name literally means beyond Boreas, the god of the north wind.
So, what was the deal with this place? What did the ancient Greeks actually believe this northern utopia was like? Let's get into it.
Okay, so the Roman author Pliny the Elder, he really painted a picture of this place. He described a people who had no sickness, no conflict, and they lived to an extreme old age, only passing away when they were just, totally content with life. Can you imagine? It was the ultimate fantasy of a perfect existence.
And when you put it side by side with their reality, you really get why this myth was so powerful. The Hyperborean dream, eternal spring, no war, endless daylight, it was the complete opposite of life for most ancient Greeks. They were dealing with tough farming on rocky land, constant plagues, and just near-perpetual warfare. So Hyperborea wasn't just a place on a map. No way. It was an escape. It was a projection of everything their own lives weren't. But here's the thing. This wasn't just some random sunny paradise. The Hyperboreans had a really special, incredibly powerful patron, the god Apollo. And this divine connection? It's absolutely central to their entire legend.
Just how deep was their connection to Apollo? Well, get this. It was said to be the birthplace of his mother, Leto. So that basically made the Hyperboreans his family. They were seen as this whole nation of priests, total masters of music and song, all devoted to praising him. In fact, the belief was that Apollo himself would pack up and leave his famous oracle at Delphi every single winter just to go hang out with them. They were, in every sense of the word, his chosen people.
And this whole myth has a face. There's a human-scale figure who really embodied all the magic of his people. His name was Abaris. And his story, well, this is where things get truly wild.
So Abaris wasn't just some priest. He was a full-on miracle worker. The legends say Apollo gave him a magical arrow, an arrow that might have even let him fly. He supposedly traveled the entire world without ever needing to eat, he purified whole cities from plagues, and he could predict earthquakes and hurricanes. He was basically the living, breathing proof of Hyperborea's divine power. Okay, so with stories like that floating around, it's no surprise that people started asking a pretty simple question. Is this place actually real? And if it is, where in the world is it?
And that one question, it kicked off this centuries-long geographical detective story. You had writers, thinkers, all of them trying to pin this perfect world down on a real, actual map.
And let me tell you, there was absolutely zero consensus. Theories placed Hyperborea all over the map. Some said just north of Greece, others said near the Danube River, or maybe even beyond the Alps. You had guys like Hecataeus of Abdera who were totally convinced it was Britain. Meanwhile, the historian Herodotus was looking way out east into Central Asia. The location was a total mystery.
But there is one fascinating little clue. It's this tiny detail, kind of buried in the labors of Heracles, that points to a truly Arctic location. So during his quest, Heracles chased this mythical deer, the Cernitensian hind, all the way to its homeland in, you guessed it, Hyperborea. And here's the kicker. It was a female deer with golden horns.
And this is where myth bumps right up against biology. See, for all the deer species the Greeks knew about, only the males have antlers. But there's only one species on the entire planet where females regularly grow antlers, the reindeer. And where do reindeer live? Exactly, the Arctic and subarctic. This one little detail suggests the whole myth of Hyperborea might have its roots in these hazy, half-understood reports coming from the true, frozen north.
So for centuries, Hyperborea was just this land of words, of poetry. A nice idea. But then, in the 16th century, something pretty incredible happened. It actually showed up on a map.
Yep, in 1595, the famous cartographer Gerardus Mercator publishes this map. And look, right there at the top of the world, he drew this massive Arctic continent. The whole shebang. 4 rivers, a mountain at the pole. You can imagine, for a lot of people, this looked like the smoking gun, the physical proof they've been searching for.
And for a moment there, it must have felt like the mystery was finally solved. Could this be it? Had cartographers actually found the legendary Northern Paradise?
Well, not quite. Turns out it was actually a really fascinating mapping error. What Mercator was doing was blending ancient myths with newer and often pretty inaccurate maps. He probably took a distorted image of Scandinavia from an older map, completely misinterpreted what he was looking at, and just kind of plopped it down on the North Pole. And sure enough, as real-world exploration pushed further and further north, this mythical continent just, poof, vanished from maps within a few decades.
But the story doesn't end there. Not by a long shot. Even after it was wiped off the map, the idea of Hyperborea proved to be incredibly powerful, and it got completely transformed in the modern era.
And this is where the myth really takes a dark and twisted turn, repurposed to serve all kinds of new ideologies. The original Greek paradise, it got hijacked. In the 19th century, you have theosophists who reimagined it as the homeland of some mystical root race. Then, in the early 20th century, that idea gets co-opted by esoteric nationalists who started claiming it was the Arctic origin for the so-called Aryan race. And this trend continues right up to today, with political mystics like Alexander Dugin using Hyperborea as a symbol for Russia in this cosmic struggle against the West.
So the original myth, with its gentle worship of Apollo, the music, the peace, that was pretty much forgotten. Hyperborea became this empty but powerful symbol, a northern homeland that basically became a blank canvas for anyone to project their own theories of origin and identity onto.
And that, really, is the secret to why this myth has lasted so long. Its power was never about being a real dot on a map. Its real power was that it was that mythological canvas, this perfect, distant, mysterious screen where humanity could project all of its deepest hopes for paradise, its grand theories of origin, and even its most dangerous ideological dreams. So when you look at it all from ancient Greece to modern ideologies, the story of Hyperborea is really a story about us. It's about our timeless human need to imagine a perfect world, a place free from all the strife and suffering that's always just over the horizon. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are the Hyperboreas we're searching for today?